Bossman, football, gaming, culture.
Hey, what's up, beautiful people? The wait is over. Yes, the 48 teams are confirmed for the World Cup and the World Cup 2026, the biggest World Cup ever, is coming to North America this summer. I hope you're ready. I'm ready. I'm excited. The Bossman is here to break it down for you, bring you all the teams, team by team, stage by stage, group by group. I'll give you all the breakdown for the World Cup 2026. And trust me, it's going to be, wait for it, legendary. All right, so we're talking 48 teams, 12 groups, 104 total matches. That is epic. This is literally the biggest World Cup ever because the format is changing this year. I'll break it down for you guys. We're changing from 36 teams to 48 teams. So it means more teams, more groups, more games, more excitement, more heartbreak, of course, because once one team is happy, another team is sad. If somebody's winning, somebody's got to be losing. And yeah, I'll be bringing it all for you to your doorstep. Lock in. Trust me, this is going to be something. So before we get into it, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell, drop a comment. What team are you supporting for the World Cup? I'm supporting, I'll tell you later. But I know everyone has like a main team and a backup team, just in case your main team doesn't make it far. But yeah, I'll give you my main team and my backup team. So what team or teams are you supporting for the World Cup? Let's cook. Let's dive in. All right, so first, let me explain the format to you because it is different this year. Just like the Champions League format changed, a couple of years ago, we now have the group. We're not talking about the Champions League, but I'm just explaining because Champions League format changed and people don't want to accept the change. Sometimes change is good. What happened? We ended up loving the new formats. Brought us more games, more big clashes, more big games, more excitement, more heartbreak, like I said. So let me explain the new format of the World Cup to you, just in case you don't understand it. Now there's 48 teams now instead of 36. That means 12 groups of 4 teams each. Every team gets to play 3 games. As usual. Here's the key. Now, the top 2 teams from each group will qualify automatically to the next round. But then to make up the next round, we have the 8 best placed third teams that finish across all the 12 groups to advance. So out of the 12 groups, the 8 of the groups would have the third best placed team to qualify as well with the top 1 and the top 1 and 2. So you could finish third and you can still go through. That's the main cocoa here. Brings us up to the 32 teams in the knockout round. A brand new round that is called the round of 32. So it's pure elimination from here. Champions will play 8 games in total. Any team that makes it to the final to win will play 8 games in total, more than ever before in the World Cup. Tournament kicks off June 11, 2026. Mark your calendar. I've marked mine already. The World Cup is in North America, so it's going to be played across Mexico, United States of America, and Canada. So I'll be attending. I'll be in attendance. I'll probably go to the ones in my state. I don't know if I can fly to other states to fly out of Georgia to visit other states and attend other games, but definitely the ones in Atlanta, we will be at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for those ones. All right, so the Estadio Azteca in Mexico City hosts the very first game of the World Cup, which is Mexico versus South Africa. Oh, look at you, South Africa. This is the second time South Africa will be playing the kickoff match of the World Cup. They did it in 2010 when they hosted, and then they're going to be doing it again against Mexico in Azteca Stadium. So that's the same ground that hosted the 1970 and 1986 World Cup finals. The World Cup final, Diego Maradona in 1986. For those that can remember that epic Diego Maradona final, Argentina final in Mexico. Now, the final is going to be played on July 19th, 2026. Oh, that's my kid brother's birthday. He's no longer a kid; he's an old man. Metlife Stadium in New Jersey. Yay, Goose! We're coming to New Jersey, right outside New York City. That's the dream destination. You gotta agree with me. All right, group by group. Let's go. Part 2. I'm going to explain every team. Quick World Cup stats that I can, pull for you guys. their history at the tournament, those who are first timers to be looked out for and flagged. I'll also give you my two picks, two top per group that I'm predicting per each group. Those that I think will go through. Are you ready? Let's dive in. All right. Group A would be Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. It begins in Group A. Mexico opens the tournament at home, like I said, June 11, 2020. The last World Cup was in 2022. So on home soil, the pressure is immense as a co-host, actually, to break through and get out of the group stage. They've had 17 World Cup appearances. So my World Cup favorite players, their goalkeeper Ochoa, you should know him if you don't know him, with the big hair. He doesn't turn up all for 3 years. Then on the fourth year, he turns up for the World Cup and pulls off some magnificent saves in the World Cup. And then he disappears again for 3 years and we don't see him or hear about him. Then once the World Cup comes around, he turns up again. He's about 40 now. He's a legend. He's a Mexican legend. He's a Mexican veteran. He'll be one of them. I do I do think that Mexico stand a chance, but let's talk about South Africa, next team. They've had three World Cup appearances. They were 2010 hosts. Their last World Cup was in 2010. They hosted the 2010 World Cup, like I said, and they kicked it off first ever on African soil. So that's big heritage for them. Now they're back again, three appearances in total. They've never ever made it past the group stage though. So that energy they always bring is electric. We all remember Shabalala's dance. Sorry, I'm breaking my mic. Boom, boom. His popular dance in the 2010 World Cup when he scored. I still do that dance in FIFA whenever I score in pro clubs. So I love that. I love that. But they always bring the noise. They always bring the electricity to the games, the stadium. So I'm looking forward to South Africa. First African team to open a World Cup opener twice now. South Korea, World Cup appearances 11. Best finish, fourth place, 2002. Last World Cup, 2022. So regular attendance to the World Cup. They've had 11 World Cups and they've had a legendary run. They're a very strong, disciplined, dangerous side. And they also have like players like, the popular Song Heung-min, Lee Kang-in, Kim Min-jae. So they have a squad of superstars playing all over the world. And Czech Republic, they've had 9 World Cup appearances. It used to be Czechoslovakia, of course, Czech Republic plus Czech Republic. Best finished second in 1934. Oof, 1962. I can't even remember that. Their last World Cup was in 2006. They returned after a 20-year absence. Last World Cup they were in was in 2006. So they return in 2026. They qualified through the UEFA playoffs. They beat Denmark on penalties. That epic game on Wednesday night, was it? Yes. Gritty, organized team. Don't sleep on Czech Republic. Now, Bossman picks for Group A. My top 2 teams for Group A, no bias, would be Mexico and South Korea. I love South Africa, and I hope they can finish as the third best placed team in this group. But my pick would be Mexico and South Africa for Group A. Now, Group B, Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Canada are co-hosts. They are in Group B. They've had 2 World Cup appearances in history, and after 36 years away, they are back now, and they are hosting. They've never actually they played the 2022 World Cup, but they've never actually made it out of the group stage. Home advantage could change everything. They're playing at home. That could help them kick past the group stage. Of course, they have the likes of Jonathan David. They have Alfonso Davies. So the team has real quality. And for Canada's sake, I hope they get out of the group stage. Next team, Bosnia Herzegovina. They made history when they eliminated Italy on penalties to qualify and return to their second World Cup ever. This is their second World Cup ever. They made their debut in 2014. Their first World Cup was in 2014, and now they're coming back in 2026. They knocked out the Giants, Italy, on penalties. Or everywhere. I don't know if you watched that game, but Italy got a red card. Italy scored first, got a red card. Bosnia equalized and won in the penalty shootout. This is a massive moment for the country. They're going to be they're going to be there, buzzing with momentum. Next team, Qatar. Qatar, 2 World Cup appearances. Of course, the first one was in 2022 when they hosted it and became the first. Well, not the first, the second. Sorry, they became the second host nation to not make it out of the group stage, just like South Africa in 2010. Now, they qualified through the Asian Confederation. Can they redeem themselves now in 2026 after a dismal showing in 2022? I think they're the first team to have, they're the team the only host team with the worst record. That's the problem. They have the worst record as a host team. They didn't get out of the group stage. I don't think they were able to win any game. Now, Switzerland. Switzerland have 12 World Cup appearances. Best finish was quarterfinals. The last World Cup was in 2022. They were there. They've had 12 appearances, so they're solid, consistent, disciplined. They've made round of 16 in recent tournaments. They're never flashy, but it's that team that they're always dangerous without being flashy. Xherdan Shaqiri may be gone, but the system still remains. Their key players now would be Xhaka. Used to play for Arsenal, used to play for Leverkusen, now playing for Sunderland. And of course, Shaqiri is a veteran. I don't know if he's going to play in the World Cup. The final teams haven't been announced, so I'm just calling names of the last known 11. Of course, we have Akanji, Sommer, Vargas. So we're looking forward to the Switzerland team. My picks for Group B would be, drum roll, this group. Canada should be able to get out of this group because, with all due respect, it's kind of an easier group than Group A. So my pick to get out of Group A Group B would be Canada and Switzerland. Bosnia might finish as best third place team. I don't know, but Canada and Switzerland are my picks for Group B. Now, Group C, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Brazil. World Cup appearances 22. They've been champions 5 times. So everybody knows Brazil. Brazil is like football heritage. You have to speak with respect when you're talking about Brazil. It's like we have all the legends. I don't even want to start listing them. Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Romario, Cafu, Carlos, Socrates. Brazil is blessed. So they're the most successful nation in World Cup history, 22 appearances. They've never missed a World Cup. In 2022, they reached the quarterfinals and lost on penalties. Were kicked out by Croatia, I believe. Brazil are always a contender, always dangerous. I don't even need to talk much about them. Their current squad boasts of the likes of Casemiro, Vinicius Junior, Matheus Cunha, Becca of Liverpool. Igor Thiago got called up for the first time. Great stuff for him. Rodrigo. So they have a lot of stars and champions in the team. I think Neymar just missed out, but the final list is going to be submitted May 30th. I believe that's the deadline. So Neymar might still make the cut. Who knows? All right, moving on. Morocco, World Cup appearances 7. Best finish semifinals 2022. They did Africa proud in 2022. First African team to reach the semifinals of the World Cup. And they arrive as supposedly the African champions because everybody knows that the Senegal team got stripped of their title and it was handed over to Morocco. So Morocco arrive as officially the African champions in the CAF. Their team boasts of, Ziyech, Hakimi, Amrabat, El Nasiri, Aged, and Bono, the goalkeeper. So they have quite a number of stars on their team. And we have Scotland and Haiti. Haiti, first time qualifiers at this level. They finished the last World Cup was in 1974. Ooh, that was before I was born. That was their first World Cup over 50 years ago. Massive achievement for Haitian football. Now they're back, and the entire Caribbean will be watching this and celebrating this. This is a big win for Haiti. It's good for them to be back. Welcome back, Haiti. So this is their second appearance at the World Cup. We have Belfort, Zachary, Dawkins, Nazon, Piero, and Leandre. We're rooting for you guys. Then we got Scotland, World Cup appearances 8, best finish group stage. Never passed the group stage, Scotland? I don't believe that. They return for the first time since France 1998, a 28-year absence. 8 total World Cup appearances, but they never made it past the group stage. That's actually shocking. Historically unlucky, but a very, very passionate country. And we look forward to having the Scottish team. McTominay, Scott McSauce, Andy Robertson, John McGinn, Ryan Christie, Dykes, Craig Gordon, Tierney. So they do have a good squad. My picks for Group C, top 2 teams in Group C. This is a tough group. Not particularly the group of death, but it's the tough group. I'm going Brazil, Morocco for Group C. Brazil, Morocco, top 2 for Group C. Scotland should make it in 3rd place. Group D, USA co-hosts jump into Group D with Australia, Paraguay, and Turkey. United States, 11 World Cup appearances. They're hosting this tournament primarily because 78 of the 104 games that will be played in the United States of America. So United are the primary hosts. United States are the primary hosts. Canada and Mexico are co-hosts. In 2002, United States reached the quarterfinals, a young, very hungry squad with real potential. Now we have the likes of Christian Pulisic leading the team, with McKennie, Tyler Adams, Pepe, Musa, Reina. Again, final squads will be yet to be announced, but Pochettino is the coach, and we're looking forward to a great performance for USA. USA. I'll be rooting for the USA. That's my country, isn't it? So we'll be rooting for the USA. My top two teams. Oh, yeah, I forgot Australia. Let's go. Australia, World Cup appearances 6. Best finished third place in 2006. Their last World Cup was in 2022. The Socceroos, as they are popularly known, they have a very solid defensive structure. They're dangerous on the break, and the boast of players like Matthew Ryan, Suter, Behich, McGree, Duke, and Mohamed Toure. So there's a smallish striker that always could jump and score crazy goals. I'm trying to remember his name. I'll look it up. All right. Next up is Paraguay. 9 appearances. They reached the quarterfinals in South Africa 2010. They're back after a 16-year absence. South American football IQ. Very physical, very organized. They could spring a surprise. Yep, they boast of the likes of Almiron, Romero, Gomez, Morel, Alonso. And like I said, final teams haven't been announced. Next team, Turkey. Turkey is back after a 24-year absence. The only previous appearance was in 1954 and 2002. 2002, they finished third under Gunes, and they qualified for the playoffs, through the playoffs after beating Kosovo. They have players all across Europe. Demirol Tosun, Chanaloglu, Adagula, which should be the most popular one for now. He's young, but he's a very big talent. My top 2 picks for Group D would be, I'll go with the co-host USA. My USA, our USA. So we'll go with USA, and it's a tough pick between Paraguay and Australia, but I think I'll go with the Socceroos. I'll go with the Socceroos for second place. So USA and Australia are my top 2 picks for Group D. Group E, Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curacao. Germany, World Cup appearances 20. They are the dons of football, just there, up there alongside Brazil. 4-time World Cup champions, 1 behind Brazil. 20 appearances. They've never missed a World Cup as West Germany or Unified Germany. The 2022 campaign was actually a disaster. They were kicked out in the group stage. Very forgettable for them. But under new leadership now, they'll be hungry to restore their legacy. Germany boasts of players like Florian Wirtz, Kai Havertz, Toni Kroos, who is retired now, Kimmich, Neuer, Sané, Musiala, exciting talent. And then we have Ecuador. Ecuador, 4 World Cup appearances, steadily been improving, made the round of 16. Valencia has been their heartbeat for several years now. Ivory Coast, they have 4 appearances in the World Cup. African giants, they are. Legendary players like Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure, we know them, but they never made it past the group stage in their era. So they're back after missing 2018 and 2022. Now they're back in 2026. They have a good generation of talented players right now, likes of Kessié, likes of Ahmad from United. I have Pepe. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's declining now. Sebastian Haller. We have Adingra, Sangare, Fofana. So quite a threat. Curacao, this is their World Cup debut, their first ever World Cup. Congratulations to Curacao. Tiny Caribbean island nation with a population of 150,000 people. Wow. I have more than that in my street. Making their debut at the World Cup. One of the most incredible qualification stories of this entire cycle. Smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. This is historic. My top 2 teams for this group would be Germany and Ivory Coast. Without even blinking, Germany and Ivory Coast. Next group, Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Ooh, Netherlands, another top dog. 11 appearances, 3 World Cup finals. They lost all their finals, never won it. They're the most decorated team to have never won. Xavi Simons. The next team, Japan, World Cup appearances 8. They've reached the round of 16 four times, but can't seem to get past that round. In 2022, they beat Germany and Spain in the group stage. Very epic upset. Very sharp team, incredibly organized. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a good showing from Japan. Endo, Minamino, Tomiyasu, Mitoma. Sweden next. They have 12 World Cup appearances. They return after missing 2022. We have Victor Gyökeres leading the team. They scored against Poland to secure their spot in the World Cup. So they're arriving with momentum, and we'll look forward to a good showing from them. Tunisia, 6 appearances, never made it past the round of 16. Very consistent African qualifier. You have to hand them that too. Very hardworking and organized, but they will need their best form to get past this particular group. My 2 top teams to get past this group, I'm going with Netherlands and Japan. Netherlands and Japan are my 2 top for Group F. Next group, Group G, Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. Belgium, 14 appearances. Golden Generation reached 3rd place in 2018. The Golden Generation with all the star boys, Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, arguably the best squad they've ever assembled. Now in transition, De Bruyne is aging. Can they produce another run? We'll see. We have Doku, Electric Doku, one of the most exciting players for me. Still have De Bruyne is aging, Tillemans, Lukaku, Witzel, Lucky Bacchio. So the team still has a lot of stars. Next team, Iran, 7 appearances, haven't made it past the group stage. And FIFA confirmed they will play their scheduled matches. A very disciplined defensive team. With all that is going on with Iran, between the Iran and the USA, I don't know if they're going to come to the World Cup, but FIFA did confirm that they will play their scheduled matches. There is a lot of uncertainty around their participation due to the geopolitical tensions going on. So we'll see what happens with Iran. Next team, Egypt. Egypt back after a 36-year absence. The last time they appeared was in 1990. Welcome back, Egypt. 3 total appearances. They have Mo Salah running down the wing. One of the best players in the world on his day is in their squad. The entire continent of Africa is cheering Egypt up. Salah's final World Cup, most likely Messi's final World Cup, most likely Ronaldo's final World Cup too. So we'll see. We'll see. New Zealand, the All Whites, they have 3 appearances. And it's a proud moment for Oceanian football to have New Zealand in the team, New Zealand in the World Cup. My top 2 for Group G would be Belgium and Egypt. Belgium and Egypt. Next group, Group H, Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde. Spain, another top dog, 16 appearances, World Cup champions in 2010, La Roja. Highest ranked team in the entire tournament according to FIFA. Yep. In 2022, they went out to Morocco in the round of 16. Technically brilliant young team. They have the likes of Lamine Yamal, superstar kid, Pedri, Morata, Rodri, Carvajal, Nico Williams, Unai Simon, just to name a few. Then we have Uruguay, 2-time World Cup champions, 1930 and 1950, 14 appearances. They did invent the World Cup. They hosted and won the first ever tournament. Now they have the likes of Federico Valverde leading the team with Darwin Núñez. So we don't ever underestimate La Celeste. We don't. Saudi Arabia, 6 appearances. 2022, they stunned Argentina in the group stage. That was one of the games of the group stage. I can remember it vividly. One of the greatest upsets in World Cup history. Messi couldn't believe it. Can they reproduce that magic? Well, we'll see. They're supposed to host the 2034 World Cup. They won the bid. Football is growing rapidly in Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde, World Cup debut for Cape Verde, another debutant, an island nation off the west coast of Africa, making their first World Cup appearance. Incredible, incredible journey. They qualified through CAF, small nation, massive achievement. Every game day will be a party in Cape Verde. My top 2 for Group H, Spain and Uruguay. Moving on, Group I, France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. France, top dogs, big dogs, one of the biggest dogs in this World Cup. World Cup appearances 16, participated 15 times. They withdrew in 1950, champions in 1998 and 2018. They're 2-time World Cup champions, one of the most stacked squads in the world, to be honest. They boast of the likes of Mbappe, Camavinga, Griezmann. In fact, the France lineup is crazy. Usman Dembele, who is currently the best player in the world, Olise, Chouamini, Mainon, Barcola, Doué. Barcola, Doué. They were finalists in 2022, losing to Argentina in an incredible final. Incredible. It was a Mbappe v Messi final. Mbappe got 2 goals, but still, Kolumwani threw it away. Do y'all remember? Do you remember? Yes, I know y'all remember. Anyways, they're coming for that trophy. Mbappe is determined. Group I is theirs to lose. Senegal. Unfortunately for Senegal, they did win the African Cup of Nations, but CAF stripped them of it, gave them a 3-0 loss for insubordination and walking out during the game, and they had to forfeit the trophy to Morocco, unfortunately for them. But they've had 3 appearances in the World Cup. So they've reached the quarterfinals on their debut, one of the greatest debut stories ever, led by Sadio Mane, who's still strong and still moving and still pushing. They are, to me, they are one of Africa's strongest teams right now, to be honest. So they boast of the likes of Mendy, Mane, Koulibaly, Sarr, Ismaila Sarr, and Mata Sarr, 2 Sarrs. Jackson, Nicholas Jackson of Bayern Munich and Chelsea, and then Camara. All right. Norway returned after a 28-year absence, last at France 1998. This time they have Erling Haaland, the most lethal striker on the planet. Norway qualified for the first time in decades, largely because of him. He scored an outstanding, I think, 16 or 18 goals. I have to get that right, but he scored about 16 goals in 8 qualifying games. That's crazy. World Cup will be watching Group I just for Haaland v Mbappe. I would be watching Group I just for Haaland v Mbappe. They still have Odegaard, Solot, Oscar Bob, and some other players, but you know Haaland. Iraq, first time since 1986, they're showing up. That's a long absence. 40 years ago was the last time they were at the World Cup. Lions of Mesopotamia are back. A remarkable story in this tournament. Welcome back, Iraq. And my top 2 for Group I, France and Senegal. Yes, I'm going Africa on this one. France and Senegal. Norway may still qualify for the knockouts through being the best third place team in this group. All right. Group J, Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. Argentina, they are the defending world champions, led by Lionel Messi. They are 3-time winners of the World Cup. Messi finally lifted the trophy in Qatar. 18 appearances. Will Messi play? He's 38. I believe he will have his last hurrah in this World Cup. This will likely be his last World Cup. Argentina are currently the 2nd-ranked team in this tournament. They have Alvarez, Rodrigo de Paul, Enzo Fernandez, Molina, Martinez, Emilio, and Garnacho, who wasn't called up for the team, but again, he still has a chance to make it before the final list is submitted in May. And then Austria returned after a 28-year gap, last at France, 7 World Cup appearances, 3rd place in 1954. Very, very quietly improving with David Alaba's influence and the good generation of European club players. They could cause some damage. Algeria, 4 appearances. Best moment was in 2014. They reached the round of 16 before losing to Germany in extra time. That was a famous watch. I remember that. They're back after missing 2018 and 2022. Algeria boasts of players like Riyad Mahrez, we know used to play for Man City, Brahimi, Ferhat, Silmani. And Jordan, another World Cup debutant alongside Curacao. They're making their debut. Another first historic one for an Asian confederation. So they have a mountain to climb. My 2 top teams for this group would be Argentina, the defending champions, and Algeria. Next group, Group K. Group K has Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan, and DR Congo. DR Congo. If you're Nigerian, you know why I'm doing this. All right, Portugal. 8 appearances, 3rd place in 1966 with Eusebio. Cristiano Ronaldo is now 41. This is almost certainly his last World Cup. In fact, this is definitely his last World Cup. He will be 45 by the next one. The time the next one comes around. The big question on everybody's lips: can he deliver and lift this World Cup? Portugal have never won it. They were semi-finalists in 2006, quarterfinals 2002, but this time it may be their time. They have a very strong squad. Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, Ruben Diaz, Bernardo Silva, Yao Neves, Ruben Neves, Vitinha, Diogo Costa. They do have a star-studded squad. That's another big dog in the World Cup, you got to admit. Colombia, they have 6 appearances. Best was under Joe Speckerman in 2014. Well, Luis Diaz is at the peak of his powers. Can he guide Colombia to get out of this group? They're a dangerous team. Uzbekistan, another World Cup debutant, number 3, making their first ever World Cup appearance. They won't be overawed. They're a competitive Asian nation, so we'll see. DR Congo, I'm going to squeeze my face while talking about DR Congo because they kicked out Nigeria from the World Cup. They are the reason, well, they're not the sole reason, but their last, they took the spot Nigeria should have taken. Anyway, congratulations to DR Congo. They deserved it. They earned it. They're here in place of Nigeria. Also beat Jamaica in the last qualifier to get through. So, formerly known as Zaire, they're back in the World Cup after a 52-year absence. Oh, congratulations to them. They have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. For me, top 2 for this group would be Portugal, and DR Congo has what it takes to get out of this group, and I wish them the best as a African team. But I'm going Portugal, Colombia. DR Congo might finish 3rd place in a good spot to still qualify. Group L, England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. England, 16 appearances, another big dog with superstars. 1 World Cup title in 1966, and that was on home soil. That's the only one England have to boast of. They have been in pain ever since. 2022, they reached the quarterfinals. This generation is arguably one of the finest they've had in years. I mean, since the Rooney, Gerrard generation, we now have people like Bellingham, Saka, Foden, Rashford, Harry Kane is still there leading the team. Can they finally do it? I don't know. We'll see. Croatia next. Croatia, 6 appearances, runners-up in 2018, losing to France in the final. Ooh, Modric. He's 40 now, but he's still leading the team, and this could also be his final World Cup. What a farewell it could be for him. We'll see. Ghana, 4 appearances. The greatest moment was the 2010 quarterfinals. They did well in 2010. They came so close to being the African team to reach the semifinal, first African team to reach the semifinals. Then they lost to Uruguay on penalties in a heartbreaking fashion. I cannot forgive Suarez for that. Anyway, very painful memory. We can't erase it. We have Panama, only their 2nd World Cup. First was in 2018. They qualified through the CONCACAF. I mean, unlikely to advance, but it's a win for them to actually be here in this World Cup. So top 2 for me in this group would be England, and let me wish my Ghanaian brothers some luck. Croatia should be able to make it out of this group, but let me not do African bias. Let me be honest. I believe it will be England and Croatia. Ghana can still make it out as 3rd best placed team. So, but honestly, should be England and Croatia. Ghana has a lot of stars. They have Party, Ayu, Semenyo, Cruz, Amati, Ziggy. Croatia have the likes of Guardiol, Perisic, Kovacic, Modric, Brozovic, Lekovic. So this is going to be a very close one for 2nd place, but I think Croatia will edge it. Ghana can still finish 3rd best place, but we'll see. So that's the last group for the World Cup. And like I said, all 12 groups, there you have it. Top 2 will qualify from each group. And I will follow every single game as they go on. The ones I can visit live, I'll visit, I'll attend, and I'll bring you all the stories from all the games. So it's going to be something special. Debutants mixing up with the champions, underdog, hunting the giants. Last World Cup, last hurrah for the names, big names like Ronaldo, Messi, Modric. Lewandowski missed out, so Poland is not here. So this is their last hurrah. They're all, nearing 40. Ochoa, this should be his last World Cup as well. Jimenez. So who is going to sign off with a hurrah? Who do you think is going to make it to that final? Drop your prediction in the comments. What team wins it? Who surprises everyone? There will be rising stars. There will be people that will be breakout stars from this World Cup. And I'll leave you with that. Personally, I'll be supporting my 2 nations. I have to have a 3rd one. I'm so torn. I'll leave it in the comment section. I'll tell you guys. All right. Catch you in the next video. Till next time, Bossman talking to you. Cheers.